Hi everyone, Chef Ron here with the Chef Ron Lock Show, and continuing with our season break specials that we're doing for you between our season 1 and season 2 of the Chef Ron Lock Show. We're pulling out from the old archives of my old cooking show, the Chuckwagon Cowboy, season 1, and this episode is boneless short ribs. Now, this episode was originally episode 10 that debuted back in 2011. And at this point of the show, I started getting a little more comfortable, but as you can see, there was some work to be done for sure. And I still wasn't clear of exactly what direction I wanted the show to go into. But it's a good episode, and it's a fantastic recipe. And this will show you a very slow and simple way to make some fantastic short ribs that are boneless and succulently tender. Let me tell you, and there's going to be some great sauce that goes along with it as well. So stick around, check this episode out. I think you're really going to enjoy it. And thank you so much again for all of your support and your interest in the Chef Ron Lock Show. We will see you very soon with season 2. We're already doing some filming on that, and we'll have more information on when that begins in a few weeks. But for now, this is Chef Ron Lock saying enjoy this episode and get off that couch. That's right, and get cooking. We'll see you soon. Enjoy the show. And I was going down to the town and seeing everything was going on. Hey everyone! We're just getting ready for the show here. I'm going to be doing some prep work and getting the ingredients and bowls and stuff. So I just going and getting, this is an old flour sifter that my mama brought back to Florida from Wisconsin a few years back. I believe this is actually my grandma's. And this is an old thing. I do believe this goes back probably 40, 50 years or more. But it's been in the family for a while. You just sift in flour with it. It really helps break up the lumps and stuff. You don't want to have that when you're cooking. So I'm going to go get some prep work done, and we're going to get this show rolling. So on with the show. Y'all, and welcome to another episode of the Chuckwagon Cowboy. Ron Lock here. Today we're talking short ribs. And short ribs, there are many different recipes for short ribs. I've probably got about a dozen or so between the oven and the grill that I use and like. What we're going to do today is I'm going to introduce one of my oven short rib recipes that people and friends and family loved and have me make time and time again when I go to functions and get-togethers. So, what we're going to produce today is our Chuckwagon's Western style boneless short ribs. Alright, so let's get to the ingredients here and show you what we're going to have today. We have, starting out here, 3 to 5 pounds of boneless beef short ribs. Now we've probably got about 3.5 pounds in here because we're only going to be making enough for 2 or 3 today, so don't need to go crazy, but you want to get about 3 or 5 pounds, okay? Next thing we've got here is we've got ourselves two medium onions. And you want to go ahead and cut those into rings, like onion rings, and we'll show you what we're going to do with those in a bit. We've also got here 2 medium-sized green peppers that are cut up and sliced, and we also have here a mixture of half a cup of flour with a 1/4 teaspoon of pepper and a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Now, what that's going to be is our dredging material for the ribs when we put those into our 9x13 baking dish. Alright, so the first thing we're going to want to do is grease ourselves a 9x13 baking dish. And we've got one right here, so get yourself one there, get that all set up. You also want to make sure you preheat your oven to 300 degrees Fahrenheit, and we've gone ahead and done that as well. So now the first thing we're going to do is prepare our short ribs into our flour. Alright, we have our 9x13 lightly greased baking dish here. You can use a baking pan too, either one. And what we're going to do, first of all, you want to make sure, now you can use kitchen latex gloves if you want for this little thing we're going to do here. You can use a tongs if you want to dredge this through. I come from the old school, and my mama never wore gloves. She always washed her hands thoroughly with antibacterial soap, and she just used the old-fashioned way with her hands. So if it was good enough for Mama, it's good enough for me. So I think we're going to be all right. So these are freshly washed hands. What we want to do is we want to take each of our little boneless short ribs here, and what you're going to do, and I'll try to get the cameraman so you can see this, is just lightly dredge this in your flour. Just dredging just kind of means dragging it along like that. Okay, shake it off a little bit, and what you're going to want to do is just place it in your baking dish here, and just keep going until you get all of it done. Real simple. This is kind of a KISS idea here, keeping it short and simple, guys and ladies. We'll finish this all up, and then we're going to do some fun stuff with the vegetables here. Well, alright, we have our boneless short ribs here, all nicely dredged into our flour mixture, and now what we're going to do is we're going to layer our 2 different types of veggies on top of this, and then we're going to go ahead and set this aside and make the sauce that's going to go on top of this here. So what we're going to do is just take our onion rings, and you're just going to go ahead and layer them on top, alright? Doesn't have to be fancy, doesn't have to be accurate. You just want to get them on top of the meat here. And we got plenty of them here. Again, this is 2 medium-sized tomatoes. Just cut them up into rings, nice and easy. Okay. Do my 4 corners here. And you just want to make sure that they're facing down. Some of these aren't even complete onion rings, but that's alright. You just gotta want to make sure that you got them all nicely layered and even on all sides of the pan. Okay? So, no tears here. At least not yet. I don't know. We'll have to see how this turns out. There may be a few tears if it don't. You never know on my show how this stuff's going to turn out. If you saw my cookie episode, you know what happened on that. So, but we showed you a way to correct that. So, I think we'll be okay with this. So, we're just layering on here. You see, and it's fine. You want to have lots of onions on it. All right. So we're at the bottom here. All right. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take our pepper strips and just layer those on top of the onions here. So again, doesn't matter if it's upside down or right side up. You just kind of layer it like I'm doing. Doesn't really necessarily even need to be uniform. You can crisscross them if you want to. Oh, there goes one. And that's what we're doing here. Usually 2 medium-sized green peppers is just about enough that you want. Okay. And you can pat this down too. Sometimes you'll see that they stick up a little bit, so that's what we're doing here. Oh yeah, by the way, the hands were washed again after we worked with the meat, so we had clean hands again. You know, a good cook probably washes their hands at least a dozen times during the course of a meal. At least I do anyway. You know. So, alright, here we go. We have got our peppers on top. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and set this aside for just a bit. When we come back here, we're going to go ahead and show you the ingredients for the sauce that gets layered on top of all of this. Alright, so we're going to be back. Alright, so we've set this aside and we're going to go ahead and make our sauce now that's going to go on top of the meat and veggie mixture. Alright, so what we have here going is we've got 3/4 cup of ketchup. We've got 1/2 cup of picante sauce. We've got 1/3 cup of sugar, and what we've done here is we've mixed 2 tablespoons of red wine vinegar along with 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. Alright, I'm just going to go ahead real quick and mix this up. It's a nice little sauce that tastes great that goes on top of this, so we're just going to mix everything into the ketchup bowl here. Alright, trying to do this real quick because I know we are on YouTube time. They don't give us a lot of time here like a regular show does, so try to rush through this. I do try to sometimes like to show how I mix things up instead of having everything done so y'all get a better feel of how things are put together. Alright, so we're just going to go ahead and mix this up. Real simple. Just fold under to top. Let me get over here because the cameraman's giving me a dirty look. I'm getting in his way. And that's it. This sauce is awesome. You really got to try this recipe. It's I use the mild picante sauce. If you like the fire type sauce, you can get the stronger stuff. That's what you want to do. So I've used chili sauce instead of ketchup too sometimes, so that works well too. Alright, we're just about mixed up here in this bowl. Alright, so what we're going to do just go ahead and pour this on over. I'll spoon it on. You can probably pour it on too, but I do my four corners first, just kind of get things layered here. And then what we're going to do, I know I'm probably in the way again, but alright, so just do that. What I'm going to do is just layer the rest of this on. Just try to get it as much as you can. Like so. What's going to happen, don't be concerned about getting it out in every piece of vegetable here, because this sauce is going to, when it gets warm, it's going to layer out, alright? If you know anything about barbecue sauces or sauces in general, anything like this, when it gets hot, it will expand. It will, I call it melting, but it will expand and cover the whole area. So we're going to be good on that, alright? So that's it for that. We are ready to go ahead and put this into our 300-degree oven right now, and let's go ahead and do that. Alright, well, we got our Chuckwagon's Western style boneless short ribs in the oven. That's at 300 degrees. We're going to cook those nice and slow for 3 hours, alright? And what we're going to do is about 2.5 hours into the cooking, we're going to go ahead and get ourselves some noodles made up for the base of our for our final presentation and dinner tonight. So we're going to come back to that in just a bit, alright? But for the meantime, I'm going to go work on a new episode that I'm going to be putting out in another couple weeks, alright? So we'll see you around in a bit. Alright, well, you can see that we are at probably about the 2.5 hour point. Yeah, just a little over 2.5 hours with our ribs in the oven right now. So what we're trying to do is get the noodles ready. We're going to have noodles tonight with this. This is going to be our base for the boneless short ribs that we have. So I'm just stirring my noodles, getting them ready. They're getting ready. We're using egg noodles here, white egg noodles. Y'all can use rice. You can use couscous even. You know, you could even not even have any pasta or rice with it. You can just actually have the short ribs in like a hoagie or sub too. So it's all smelling really good in the house here, and we're just we're getting ready to do our presentation here in just a bit. So stick around. All right, well, 3 hours out of the oven, and we have our Chuckwagon's Western style boneless short ribs right here. These things smell fantastic. They look great. Now, I do these uncovered, all right, and you can see why. I want to go with the very crispy and layered look here and taste. You can see how crispy this is on the top, and what it does is it also makes the sauce a lot more firmer. Now, you can go ahead and cover this too, but if you like a more vegetable that's soft, but I would recommend doing this uncovered. Alright, just want to put that out there because you can do it either way, but that's the way we do it. Alright, so here it is. We're going to go ahead and take our YEEHAW test like we always do. You see this? You see this presentation we have out here? Can you imagine this? Some big boy or girl is going to eat this big plate. Now seriously, this is a serving plate. We're going to go ahead and you can dish yourself out and take portions, but you could probably, somebody with a healthy appetite could eat this. This is a Texas style meal. So anyway, we're gonna put this out on the table for servings, but I'm gonna go ahead and take a bite into this actually just for the show. So we're gonna take our YEEHAW test right now. Let me go ahead and try this. I'm gonna try to get some of this barbecue sauce over here too, because I want this piece right here. All right, and get some of the onion and some of the pepper on here too. All right, let's go ahead here. You know, this meat cuts like butter. You see that? There's no effort there at all. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and set this knife over here, excuse my back, and I want to get everything, the onions, the pepper, and a little bit of the noodle here, if I can. Alright, here we go. Here we go. Alright, let's try it out. You know what? Every time I make this, it's amazing. This meat is like butter. That's the good thing about it. That's why we do it at 300 degrees and do it for 3 hours, because it's a slow cooking type of a meal. The short ribs turn out fantastic. They melt in your mouth literally. The The egg noodles is a great complement. Again, you can use rice, you can use couscous. Again, you could just take this and put it on a hoagie or sub and have a fantastic, fantastic sandwich with it too. However you want to do it. But like I said, I prefer egg noodles. I've done rice too. Rice is fine. But this is fantastic. The peppers, the onions add such a savory flavor to this whole thing. The barbecue sauce, this sauce with the picante and everything has a little bit of a kick to it, but it's still, it just makes this whole meal. So I would totally suggest that you make this. This is great for if you're having a bunch of people over, and it works real well. So, alright, well, that's about all the time we have on the show for today. From the Chuckwagon Cowboy Show, this is Ron Locke speaking, saying good eating and happy trails.